Hey friends, Mrs. McNeil here. Today we're going to learn how to draw using one-point perspective. This is a great tool to use if you're ever going to want to use draw buildings or anything like that. So you're going to need a few items today. You're probably going to need a ruler, a pencil with an eraser, and some paper. So go ahead and gather those things and let's get started.
Hey friends, alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to be learning how to do our one-point perspective. Now, we have a few things in here. We have our horizon line, we have our vanishing point, and then we have our lines. Now, we need to look at this. All of our horizontal lines are all parallel to each other, and all of our vertical lines are parallel to each other. These lines right here, our diagonal lines, are all going back to this vanishing point. And as they get closer to the vanishing point, they get closer together, and as they come up from the vanishing point, they get further apart. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, go ahead and get your ruler, and you are going to want to line your ruler up somewhere near the top of your paper, and you don't want it to be crooked or anything like this. You want it to be fairly level, and we're going to draw our horizon line. And now, we're going to pick a space anywhere on here, and you're going to put your vanishing point somewhere here. Now we're going to start to draw our lines where they are coming from our vanishing point. So you can use your ruler for this, or you can just draw it where they all come from our vanishing point somewhere in here. So you're going to draw a little cluster of these lines. You can do a bunch, you can do a few. And notice they're all coming towards us, towards the bottom of our paper. And somewhere in here, I might do one more coming out here. Alright, so now we've got our lines here. And what we're going to want to do is you are going to start to box in, and you can use your ruler if you want, or we can just sit here and we can just kind of sketch it out. We're going to start to box in our lines. And I'm going to start, and remember our lines, and I'm going to be drawing lightly. We want to have all of our vertical lines parallel to each other. So I've got one there, I've got one here, and I'm sketching this in, and now we want to have our horizontal lines parallel to each other. So once you kind of have a good sketch of where you want your lines to be, so I can go ahead and erase some of these lines that aren't really perfect or anything like that, and I'm starting to just sketch in lightly where I want these to be. Now, I've got this first box here. Now, what you're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to pick the next spot in which our box goes down to. All right, I'm going right down to this other line, and this line right here, this is our diagonal line where it goes back towards our vanishing point. And then this line right here also goes back to the vanishing point. This line is going to go flat across like this. And then this line goes back towards that vanishing point. And now we are having our lines where they look a little bit better. You can really start to darken up some of your lines here. And now we have our box. Now if you would like to draw it so that you can actually see it, like see through your box, then we can add I'll add our little dash line here that kind of comes down, kind of goes right to that little guy, but it goes right here next to this, and then it comes across right there. Now this line, I might have to use my ruler for this. This line, I line it up to here, so it lines up this corner, goes back towards that back corner. You can kind of see this. And then this, I can erase that one. Now we have got our one-point perspective. Sort of really commit to these lines now. Using our ruler. Sharpen up everything. And we've got our 1-point perspective with a vanishing point. And it's on. And as we get closer here, you can draw all sorts of things. You can turn this into a building. You can see a door with windows and things like that. And as it gets further away, you can't really see as much. So keep practicing that. Try different widths of boxes, try different lengths, and see how far back you can go. Enjoy this process. Have fun, friends.